Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me, I think, now. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we're good. Let me know if you can't hear me. So, usually it's Tuesday art stream, but yesterday I had a lot of work to do, and then I was like on someone else's stream. So I skipped the art stream, and then last Tuesday I had a gig and I didn't stream that day, and I'm really missing art stream. So I really just was like, I don't care, it's Wednesday, I'm gonna do art history. So it's happening today. So we left off with finishing the prehistory, pre-civilization, ancient Egyptian art, and now we've moved on to chapter 2 in this textbook. It's Gardner, Art Through the Ages, which is the standard textbook, like this thick. It's the one they use at Yale. It's probably the one they use at all universities. Pretty standard, so it's kind of fun. And today we are going through, I have to do these like Google, like, how do I pronounce Google pronunciation stuff, because I'm terrible at this. But let's see, it's prehistoric Aegean art. Let's see how we're supposed to say that. I don't know. Let's see. See how to sound this out, shall we? Aegean? I don't know how it works. Pronunciation.
Aegean.
Aegean. Oh, it's Aegean. Okay. Okay. Aegean. Okay. Totally wrong. Good thing I looked it up. Aegean. So, Aegean art. Yeah, again, more things I don't know how to pronounce. Oh no, let me turn Discord off. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, a bunch of stuff I don't know how to pronounce. So, I'll go over it when we go over it. But Cycladic art, I don't know, religion and mythology, the gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. We'll go through them. Why not? Minoan art and all those things. Minoan decline, and then the Mycenaean art. We'll figure it out. So the rise and fall of these prehistoric Aegean art, which I forgot to put in the in the title. Aegean art. Damn it. Okay. Sorry. Let's just get to it, shall we? Tuesday, close up. Should have prepped this better. There we go. There we go. How does that look for you guys? Give you guys this one, the big one. Okay, cool. So, yeah. To Greece. In contrast to the Near East and Egyptian deities, Greek gods differed from humans only in being immortal. Greek artists depicted both gods and young men in such as this discus thrower with perfect nude bodies. So this is kind of my whole thing with Lady Alchemy too, is in particular I've always described my performance art as I call it sculpture dancing. So I dress up in costumes and I do this thing like sculptures, and we'll go through these beautiful Greek sculptures and stuff. Sister is on the phone really loud. I have to tell her that's distracting. Come on. Okay. What was it? In contrast to Near East and Egyptian deities, Greek gods differ from humans only in being immortal. Greek artists depicted both gods and young men, such as this discus thrower with perfect nude bodies. Right. So I was saying, Lady Alchemy stuff, with Greek sculptures, poses, and it's lovely. And yeah, the way that they idealized the human form, made them perfect. They were not fat, they were not ugly. And it was supposed to show perfection, which is tied to godliness. And this is before like plastic surgery and steroids and stuff like that. So their like perfection was like obviously natural perfection. Look at this guy. He's not like a bodybuilder, but he is, physically peak, which is godliness. And that's how I interpret Lady Alchemy kind of stuff. And it's fun to do that anyway. Greece. Greek art occupies a special place in the history of art through the ages. Many of the cultural values of the Greeks, especially their honoring of the individual and exaltation of humanity as the measure of all things, I love that, remain fundamental tenets of Western civilization. Here we go, we got some Western art happening. In fact, these ideas are so completely part of modern Western habits of mind that most people are scarcely aware that the concepts originated in Greece more than 2,500 years ago. The Greeks, or Hellenes, Hellenistic period, as they call themselves, the Hellenes, I love it, never formed a single nation, but instead established independent city-states on the Greek mainland on the islands of, how do you say it again? I forget. Aegean Sea, and on the western coast of Asia Minor. In 776 BCE, the separate Greek states held for their first ceremonial games in common at Olympia. From then on, despite their differences and rivalries, the Greeks regarded themselves as sharing a common culture, distinct from the surrounding barbarians who did not speak Greek. I love that. The Hellenes sounds like an all-female classic rock band. That's true. I love it. Sorry, super thirsty. Seltzer. It's gonna make me burp now. Hey, Snowball, what's up? Welcome. We're going through Greece now. Art history. Okay, so, yeah. Look at this. Even thousands of years ago, the Greeks distinguished themselves of having a similar culture and considered those that didn't speak Greek barbarians, and they realized they have a distinct culture that was different from the rest of them. Incubus said back when they were cultured enough for xenophobic chauvinism. Sigh. Culture. Okay, even the gods of the Greeks, see the Greek gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus, page 49, differed in kind from those of neighboring cultures. Unlike the Egyptian and Mesopotamian gods, See Chapter 1. The Greek deities differ from human beings only in that they were immortal. It has been said that Greeks made their gods into humans and their humans into gods. These humanistic worldview led the Greeks to create the concept of democracy, ruled by the demos, the people, and to make seminal contributions in the fields of art, literature, and science. Okay? That sounds fantastic. Okay? That sounds fantastic. And this is the kind of stuff that the right today, they talk about culture, they talk about Western civilization, but they are actively, oh, excuse me, the seltzer water. But yeah, the right is actively not acknowledging art, literature, and science. And I think those are really, really important. So all this talk of culture and Western civilization, I think we need to be less bitching about the left and focus more on art, literature, and science. Okay, guys? The distinctiveness and originality of Greek civilization should not, however, obscure the enormous debt the Greeks owed the cultures of Egypt and the Near East. Scholars today increasingly recognize this debt, and the Greeks themselves readily acknowledge borrowing ideas, motifs, conventions, and skills from these other civilizations. Nor should a high estimation of Greek art and culture blind historians to the realities of Hellenistic life and society. Even democracy was a political reality for only one segment of the Greek demos. Slavery was a universal institution among the Greeks, and Greek women were in no way the equals of Greek men. Women normally remained scheduled in their... excuse me. God, I can hear... There's a cat that's in goddamn heat, and I can hear it. It's so annoying. Women normally remain secluded in their homes, emerging usually only for weddings, funerals, and religious festivals. Wow. Honestly, I'm not against it. I would love to stay secluded in my home. Nonetheless, the importance of the Greek contribution to the later development of Western civilization and Western art cannot be overstated. The story of art in Greece does not begin with the Greeks, however, but with their prehistoric predecessors in the Aegean world, the people who would later become the heroes of Greek mythology. Oh, thank you for that, Incubus. I'm going to save that comment and look it up later. Alright, let's continue. Oh my god, this cat. Prehistoric Aegean art. So, let's look at this map real quick. Okay, so there's Italy... And I can see Macedonia. Let me see. You guys see it? Oh my god. So goddamn. Can we get that cat to shut up? Ugh. Ugh. That cat's really... Oh, great, now she's in here. She's gonna meow in here like crazy. Meow, I'm live on air, so don't come in here. Unless you... Okay, well, I'm live right now, so you can't come in there. Alright. This fucking cat is gonna start meowing and heat in here. You little whore! You little whore! Get out of here! Sorry about that. Okay, let's get back to it. So yeah, I see Italy, there's Macedonia, there's Mount Olympus. Okay, so in the Adriatic Sea. So I'm Croatian, and we are along the Adriatic over there by Macedonia, along the coast there. Croatia is all along the coast, across from Italy, on the Adriatic Sea. So, oh, interesting. Yay, love that. So I would say it's part of my culture too. Historians, art historians, and archaeologists alike divide the prehistoric Aegean into 3 geographical areas. Each has a distinctive artistic identity. Okay, this one I'm going to have to look up how to sound. Chair stream, sorry. Okay, let's look up how to sound this out. Pronunciation. Remember when we were doing the last etiquette stream, they were saying read more and learn how to pronounce things. Luckily, we have things like Google nowadays.
Cycladic.
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 Cycladic. Cycladic.
Cycladic.
Wow. There's even a like drawing of a mouth, and it like sounds it out like that. Like it shows you how they say it on Google. That's insane.
Cycladic.
Cycladic. Okay. Okay, Cycladic art is the art of the Cycladic Islands, also named because they circle around Delos, as well as of the adjacent islands in the Aegean, excluding Crete. Minoan art, named for the legendary king Minos, encompasses the art of Crete. Let me see how to say this.
Mycenaean. Mycenaean.
Mycenaean.
Mycenaean. Mycenaean.
Okay. So Mycenaean art, which takes its name from the great citadel of Mycenae, celebrated in Homer's Iliad, the epic tale of the Trojan War, is the art of the Greek mainlands. This fucking cat. It has to be doing this right now. Really? This fucking slut of a cat. I swear to God. Okay, Cycladic art. Although the heyday of the prehistoric Aegean was not until the 2nd millennium BCE, humans inhabited Greece as far back as the Paleolithic period. Village life was firmly established in Greek in Neolithic times. However, the earliest distinctive Aegean artworks date to the 3rd millennium BCE and come from the Cyclades. Cycladic statuettes. So I love the word statuettes. That's something they talk about in this book a lot. It's basically like little miniature sculptures, like little figurines. So instead of, oh yeah, they called it a figurine over here. It says in 2.2, figurine of a woman from Syros, the Cycladians. Yeah, so it's like a word for figurine, which I absolutely love. Statuette. I think it's way cooler of a word than figurine. Hey, Randall, what's up? Randall, let me know if you can hear this cat meowing, okay? Okay, so Cycladic art. Oh, wait, we already spread that. Okay, Cycladic statuettes. Marble was abundant in the Aegean Islands, and many Cycladic marble sculptures survived. Most of these, like their Stone Age predecessors, figure 1, 2. Which one's figure 1, 2? represents nude women with their arms folded across their abdomen. One example, figure 2-2, this one here, about 1.5 feet tall, comes from a grave on Syros. It is almost flat, and the sculptor rendered the human body in highly schematic manner. Large, simple triangles dominate the form. Yeah, so most Cycladic statues come from graves and depict nude women, but whether they represent the deceased is uncertain. The sculptor rendered the female schematically, the female body schematically as a series of large triangles. Okay, so it's from simple triangles dominate the form, the head, the body itself, which tapers from exceptionally broad shoulders to tiny little feet, and the incised triangular pubis. The feet are too fragile to support the figurine. If these sculptures were primary funerary offerings, as archaeologists believe they were, they must have been placed on their backs in the graves, lying down as were the deceased themselves. Whether they represent those buried with the statuettes or fertility figures or goddesses is still subject of debate, as is true of all such images. The artist took pains to emphasize the breasts as well as the pubic area. Traces of paint found on some of the Cycladic figurines indicate that the artist colored at least part of these sculptures. The now almost... There's always some noises going on. I'm like in the country too. Okay. Okay, so let me see. The now almost featureless face would have had painted eyes and mouths in addition to the sculpted nose. Red and blue necklaces and bracelets as well as painted dots on the cheeks characterize a number of surviving figurines. Cute. Okay. All right, before we continue with the Minoan art, I think it is beneficial to maybe catch up on some of this religion and mythology with the gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus, shall we? Oh, also, don't forget, guys, I have a goal to reach, you know, goals. Let me see. Oh my God, why is my goal not up here? Let me see something. Oh my God, hold on. What is going on with my goal? Copy the goal widget. And where is my goal? I need my Streamlabs goal. How else am I going to make money? This is irritating. I want my Streamlabs goal. I see it. I see it. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm at 0%. So if you want to help me out, you can help me do that by going to streamlabs.com/Martina Markota TV and help my goal out. Thank you guys so much. Okay, let's continue. The Greek deities most often represented in art, not only in antiquity, but also in the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, up to the present, are the 12 gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. Listed here are the Olympian gods and their Roman equivalents. So Zeus, or Jupiter, was king of the gods and ruled the sky. His weapon was the thunderbolts, and with it he led the other gods to victory over the giants who had challenged the Olympians for control of the world. Cool. Then there's Hera, or Juno, the wife and sister of Zeus, was the goddess of marriage. Then there's Poseidon, or Neptune. Zeus's brother was lord of the sea. He controlled waves, storms, and earthquakes, and his three-pronged pitchfork, the trident. Hestia, or Vesta, sister of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hera, was goddess of the hearth. Demeter, or Ceres, Zeus's third sister, was the goddess of grain and agriculture. Ares, or Mars, the god of war, was the son of Zeus and Hera and the lover of Aphrodite. As father of the twin founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus, Mars looms much larger in Roman mythology and religion than Ares does in Greek. Athena, or Minerva, was the goddess of wisdom and warfare. She was a virgin, Parthenos in Greek, born not from a woman's womb, but from the head of her father, Zeus. What is this? Hephaestus, or Vulcan, the son of Zeus and Hera, was the god of fire and metalworking. He provided Zeus his scepter and Poseidon his trident. Oh, cool. He fashioned the armor Achilles wore in battle against Troy. Cool. He was also the surgeon who split open Zeus's head when he gave birth to Athena. Hephaestus was lame and uncharacteristically for a god, ugly. Okay. His wife Aphrodite was unfaithful to him. Okay. Apollo, also known as Apollo, was the god of light and music and great archer. He was the son of Zeus with Leto, Latana, daughter of one of the Titans who preceded the Olympians. His epitaph, Phobos, means radiant, and the Greeks sometimes identified the young, beautiful Apollo with the sun Helios, soul. It's true. Artemis, or Diana, the sister of Apollo, was the goddess of the hunt of wild animals. Because she was Apollo's twin, the Greeks occasionally regarded Artemis as the moon, Selene and Luna. Aphrodite, or Venus, the daughter of Zeus and Dione, one of the nymphs, the goddesses of spring, caves, and woods, was the goddess of love and beauty. She was the mother of the Trojan hero Aeneas by Anchises. Hermes, or Mercury, the son of Zeus and another nymph, was the fleet-footed messenger of the gods and possessed winged sandals. He was also the guide of travelers and carried the caduceus, a magical herald's rod. Three other gods and goddesses figure prominently in Greek and Roman art are Hades, also known as Pluto, Zeus's other brother, was equal in stature to the Olympian deities, but he never resided on Mount Olympus. Zeus allotted him lordship over the underworld when he gave the realm of the sea to Poseidon. Hades was the god of the dead. Then there's Dionysus, or Bacchus, was the god of wine and the son of Zeus and a mortal woman. I actually did a video about this because they did some excavations in Greece recently, and they found large stone heads of Dionysus, and I have this whole video on my YouTube. You should check it out. It's really interesting. I love modern archaeology right now. I don't know what it is, but it's just so fascinating. There's been a lot of archaeological discoveries, and for some reason I do videos on them sometimes. But yeah, this one was interesting because they were talking about the cult of Bacchus and how when there was Christianity in hiding at the same time, they used Dionysus Bacchus as the Jesus, because it was wine and stuff like that, and he was like a forgiver, and like, I don't know, there's stuff about it. It's interesting. Watch the video. And then last but not least, we have Eros. Amor, or Cupid, was the winged child god of love and the son of Aphrodite and Ares. Okay, little refresher. Doesn't hurt. A little refresher doesn't hurt. I know, Sandra, I was thinking the same thing when they were talking about, like, sister and wife. Too much incest in Greek Roman mythology. I agree. It makes me very uncomfortable. Wife and sister, oh my. Thanks for that, Jay. Link to the video. Cool. Let's continue. Continue. That's her name. Continue. Okay, so we have Minoan art. I think I'm saying that right. Let's just double check, so I'm not doing the whole stream saying it wrong.
Minoan.
Yeah, Minoan. Cool, I got that one. Okay, Minoan art. During the 3rd millennium BCE, both on the Aegean Islands and the Greek mainlands, most settlements were small and consisted of simple buildings. Burials containing costly offerings, such as the Cyrus statuettes, were rare. With the 2nd millennium BCE, in contrast, came the construction of large palaces on Crete. This was the golden age of the prehistoric Aegean, the era when the first great Western civilization emerged. Oh, how great! The Cretan palaces were large, comfortable, and handsome, with ample staircases and courtyards for pageants, ceremonies, and games. They also had storerooms, offices, and shrines that permitted these huge complexes to serve as the key administrative, commercial, and religious centers of the island. All of the Cretan palaces have similar layouts. The size and number of the palaces, as well as the rich finds they have yielded, attest to the power and prosperity of the people. Archaeologists have dubbed the Minoans after the legendary King Minos. And this is an aerial view looking northeast of the palace of... I don't know how to say it. Let me see if I can look it up. Knossos. Okay. So this is in Crete. The largest palace on Crete was the legendary home of King Minos. Scores of rooms surrounding a large rectangular court. The palace's maze-like plan gave rise to the myth of the Minotaur in the labyrinth. Cool. Let's check it out. Well, that's all that remains of it, at least. Okay, so got Knossos. Minos place, this place up above here at Knossos, the largest on Crete, was the legendary home of the Minotaur, a creature half bull, half man. According to the myth, the Minotaur inhabited a vast labyrinth, and when the Athenian king Theseus defeated the monster, he was able to find his way out of the maze only with the aid of Minos' daughter Ariadne. She had given Theseus a spindle of thread to mark his path through the labyrinth and safely find his way out again. The aerial view reveals that the Knossos palace was indeed maze-like in plan. Its central feature was a large rectangular court. Okay. Sorry, okay, let me go back to it. The area view reveals that Gnosis Palace was indeed maze-like in its plan. The central feature was a large rectangular court. The other units, living quarters, ceremonial rooms, and storerooms, were grouped around it. The palace was also complex in elevation. It had as many as 3 stories around the central court, and even more on the southeast sides where the terrain sloped off sharply. Interior staircases, figure 2-4, this one to the right. Oh, that does look lovely, actually. Built around light and air, wells provided necessary illumination and ventilation. Yeah, it looks great. The Minoans fashioned their columns of wood and usually painted the shafts red. Okay. The columns had black, bulbous, cushion-like capitals resembling those of the later Greek Doric orders. See Doric and Ionic temples. Okay, yeah, I see the large bulbous things. That looks cool. Minoan column shafts, however, taper from a wide top to narrow base, the opposite of both Egyptian and later Greek columns. Mural paintings liberally adorn the Knossos Palace, constituting one of its most striking features. The paintings depict many aspects of Minoan life: bull leaping, processions and ceremonies, and of nature, birds, animals, flowers, and marine life. Unlike the Egyptians, who painted in fresco, dry fresco, the Minoans coated the rough fabric of their rubble walls with fine white lime plaster, and using a true wet fresco method. See fresco painting in Chapter 7. The Minoan frescoes required rapid execution and great skill. The Knossos Palace was complex in elevation as well as plan, had several stories on all sides of the central court. Minoan columns taper from top to bottom, unlike Egyptian and Greek columns. Yeah, Jay, some fresco art history paintings. Art history paintings. What am I talking about? Some fresco art history. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Fresh secco is called Buon fresco. Okay. Oh yeah, the most famous fresco 2-5 from the palace at Knossos depicts the Minoan ceremony of bull leaping. Only fragments of the full composition survive. The dark patches are original, the remainder is a modern restoration. The Minoan artist painted the young woman with fair skin and the youth with dark skin according to a convention for distinguishing male and female, also seen in ancient Near Eastern and Egyptian art. The young man is in midair, having its seams grasp the bull's horns and vaulted over its back in a perilous and extremely difficult acrobatic maneuver. I see it. This is Sparta, says Noah. That's right. Look at this guy acrobating over this bull. The painter brilliantly suggested the powerful charge of the bull by elongating the animal's shape and using sweeping lines from a funnel of energy beginning at the very narrow hindquarters of the bull and culminating in its large, sharp horns and galloping forelegs. The human figure also have stylized shapes with typically Minoan pinched waists. Ooh, I love that. The Minoan pinched waist. The elegant, elastic, highly animated Cretan figures with their long curly hair and proud and self-confident bearing are easy to distinguish from Mesopotamian and Egyptian figures. So yeah, just looking at this as a fresco decorated on the Gnosis Palace walls. The men and women have stylized bodies with narrow waists. I love that. The skin color varies with gender, a common convention in ancient paintings. So you have that woman and a younger man. And there's Thera. Much better preserved than the Knossos frescoes. Much better preserved than the Knossos frescoes are those uncovered in the excavations of Akrotiri. Let's find this. Let's figure out how to spell this. How to pronounce.
Akrotiri.
Akrotiri. Okay. Okay, so Akrotiri on the volcano. Much better preserved than the Knossos frescoes are those uncovered in the excavations of Akrotiri on the volcanic island of Santorini, ancient Thera, some 60 miles north of Crete. The excellent condition of the Theran painting is due to an enormous seismic explosion on Santorini that buried Akrotiri in volcanic pumice and ash, probably in 1628 BCE. Holy crap. One almost perfectly preserved Theran mural painting, the spring fresco, this one to the right here, has nature itself as its sole subject. The artist's aim, however, was not to render the rocky island terrain realistically, but rather to capture the landscape's essence and to express joy in the splendid surroundings. The irrationally undulated and vividly colored rocks and graceful lilies swaying in the cool island breezes and the darting swallows express the vigor of growth and delicacy of flowering and the lightness of birdsong and flight. In the lyrical language of curving line, the artist celebrated the rhythms of spring. This is the first known example of a pure landscape painting, a picture of a palace without humans or animals present. Spring fresco represents the polar opposite of the first effort's mural painting in the caves of Paleolithic Europeans, where animals and occasionally humans appear as isolated figures without any indication of setting. Okay. So this Aegean muralist painted in wet fresco, which required rapid execution. In this first known pure landscape, the painter used vivid colors and undulating lines to capture the essence of springtime. Undulating! I love that. Okay. So here we have Minoan pottery. How exciting. Minoan painters also decorated small objects, especially ceramic pots, usually employing... Minoan painters also decorated small objects, especially ceramic pots, usually employing dark silhouettes against a cream-colored background. On a jar, figure 2.7. Okay, this one above, the circular thing, that's a jar. Found at... I don't know how to say that.
Minoan.
Oh, wait, that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for this. Why does it keep taking me to Minoan?
Palicastro.
Palicastro. Okay, so on a jar, this figure over here found at Palicastro on Crete, the tentacles of an octopus spread out over the curving surfaces of the vessel, embracing the piece and emphasizing its volume. Oh, look at that octopus! This is a masterful realization of the relationship between the vessel's decoration and its shape. Always a problem for the ceramist. Snake goddess with her tits out. In contrast to the Mesopotamian and Egyptians, the Minoans seem to have erected no temples or monumental statues of gods, kings, or monsters. Although large wooden images may once have existed, what remains of Minoan sculpture in the round is small in scale, such as the faience, the low-fired glass-like silicate statuette known as the snake goddess, this thing up above here, found in the palace of Knossos. It is one of several similar figurines that some scholars, although the prominently exposed breasts suggest that these figurines stand in the long line of prehistoric fertility images usually considered divinities. The Knossos woman holds snakes in her hand and supports a leopard-like feline peacefully on her head. Oh, that's true. Okay. So, she's got snakes in her hands, her boobs are out, and she's got a leopard on her head. This implied power over the animal world. This implied power over the animal world also seems appropriate for a deity. The frontality of the figure is reminiscent of Egyptian and Near Eastern statuary, but the costume, with its open bodice and flounced skirt, is distinctly Minoan. I like it. Looks like a corset and a nice skirt. Cool. Let me just check in on you guys real quick. All right, it's been about an hour. Might go for a break. I'm not sure. But guys, been here for an hour, halfway through the stream, doing an art history lesson. And if you want to help me reach my goal within a few days, you can help me do that by going to streamlabs.com/Martina Markota TV. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the Minoan decline. So I'm not allowed to take a break, says James. Scholars dispute the circumstances surrounding the end of the Minoan civilization, although they now widely believe, how do I say this?
Mycenaean.
Oh, right, Mycenaean. Okay. Yeah, so scholars dispute the circumstances surrounding the end of the Minoan civilization, although they widely believe Mycenaeans had already moved onto Crete and established themselves as Knossos in the 15th century BCE. Parts of the place continued to be occupied until its final destruction around 1200 BCE, but its importance as a cultural center faded soon after 1400 BCE as the focus of Aegean civilization shifted to the Greek mainlands. So then we have the Mycenaean art. We can get into that. Maybe a break? I don't know. Maybe a break. And then we have Greek art coming up. Damn. Mycenaean art. Let me see what we went through. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Should I just take a break real quick before we get on to the Mycenaean art? I think I could probably pee. I could always pee, so. I'll answer some questions in some super chats or whatever. Chill for a second, take a break, and then we'll come back to the Mycenaean art. The cat died. Alright. Jay, you alright? You sleeping, Jay? You okay? You bored? You bored? Sorry, Twitter was funny. I'm not bored, I'm just chilling. You said you had a gig last Tuesday. You still dancing with JLo and Shakira, or are you teaching? What was it? What? Aw, you didn't get notified, Hollywood goddamn. Yep, we're halfway through the stream, so we should catch up to the other half, maybe, in a little bit. I think I might just try to go to the bathroom. Somebody said, oh yeah, give me that prehistoric proto-punk shit. James said that he's been so bored with the coronavirus crap, everything is shut down. That's why I don't understand why there's not more on the streams. And I'm not doing better with the streaming right now, because where is everyone? Aren't you just home watching shit? And also, what's happening? Are we getting universal income or what? Lady, I gotta pee. That's totally me. Yep. I'm waiting for the if we're gonna get universal income. Jay is laughing at me calling my cat a whore. All right, good night, Sandra. Thank you so much for everything. Am I back in the city? I mean, I'm renting an apartment in the city, but I am currently upstate because I'm getting away from the coronavirus. $1,000 check in April and May? Really? Is that really gonna happen? I'll believe it when I see it. Trump basement box. Alright. Alright, there's no super chats or any valid questions or concerns, so I might just put a commercial on, guys. Don't go anywhere. Just enjoy the art, enjoy the music, enjoy the visuals, and you're stuck in Jersey. Oh, I'm just across the ways when I'm living in Brooklyn. But okay, so we'll get back to the Mycenaean art. Let's just do a commercial real quick, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Please don't go anywhere. Super fun stream, art stream. Bye.
slam a VHS into the slot. It is Chronicles of Riddick. Chronicles of Riddick. Every morning I wake up and open palm slam a VHS into the slot. It is Chronicles of Riddick. Chronicles of Riddick. And right then and there I start doing the moves alongside with the main character, Riddick. And right then and there I start doing the moves alongside with the main character, Riddick. I do every move and I do every move hard. Making whooshing sounds when I slam down some necro bastards, or even when I mess up technique. Not many can say they escaped the galaxy's most dangerous prison. I can't.
Okay, we're back and right in time. I'm out of breath. Just ran up the stairs. Whew. Oh, wow. Okay. Just outside for a second. It's chilly. How you guys doing? Hey Dan, welcome. What'd you miss? We're just talking about some Aegean art. So, yeah. Now we're getting into the... Ooh! We got a super chat or something. Why aren't they showing on screen? Ugh, my thing's all messed up. My thing's all messed up lately. I don't know what's wrong with Streamlabs. Streamlabs is glitching. So let's stop for a second and see what's in Streamlabs. Okay, so we have King KDI just subscribed. That's what that was. And we have a ninja donation from Rainbow. Thanks, Rainbow. I give 23 bucks. Thank you. Thank you guys. If you want to help me out, you can go to the link, which is streamlabs.com/Martina Markota TV. Okay. Now I have that music in my head. I say it. Oh, hi, kitty. Come here, Comet. Love you, Comet. So cute. I love this guy. Guy. It's the boy. It's not the one in Heat. Oh, you're so good. I love you, kitty. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, so the Mycenaean art. This cat is so cute. I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, my kitty. The Mycenaean arts. Scholars still debate the origins of the Mycenaeans. The only certainty is the presence of these forerunners of the historical Greeks at the beginning of the second millennium BCE. Oh, I need a drink. I heard someone banging on the door. Hold on. You alright? Okay. Some researchers believe the mainland was long a Minoan. Hold on. What is this saying? Scholars still debate the origins of the Mycenaeans. The only certainty is the presence of these forerunners of the historical Greeks at the beginning of the second millennium BCE. Some researchers believe the mainland was long a Minoan economic dependency, but by 1500 BCE, a distinctive Mycenaean culture was flourishing in Greece. Cool. We have the Tyrans. Let's make sure I know how to say that.
Tyrans or Tyrans.
Yeah, Tyrans. Okay. So we have the Tyrans. The destruction of the Cretan palaces left the mainland culture supreme. Although this civilization has come to be called the Mycenaeans, Mycenae was but one of several large citadels. The best preserved and most impressive Mycenaean remains are those of the fortified palaces at Tyrans and Mycenae. Construction of both began about 1400 BCE. Homer, writing in the mid-18th century BCE, called the citadel of Tyrans, this figure up here, 2-9, right here that you can see, located about 10 miles from Mycenae, Tyrans of the Great Walls. That's what Homer called them, the citadel of Tyrans. Tyrans of the Great Walls. In the 2nd century CE, now we've moved to CE. Okay, in the 2nd century CE, when, oh God, I don't know how to say these. Pausanias. Okay. So in the 2nd century CE, when the Pausanias, author of an invaluable guidebook to Greece, visited the site, he marveled at the towering fortifications and considered the walls of Tyrans as spectacular as the pyramids of Egypt. Indeed, the Greeks of the historical age believed mere humans could not have erected such edifices, and instead attributed the construction of the great Mycenaean citadel to the mythical Cyclops, a race of one-eyed giants. Archaeologists still apply the term Cyclopean masonry to the huge, roughly cut stone blocks forming massive fortification walls of Tyrans and other Mycenaean sites. The walls of Tyrans average about 20 feet in thickness and incorporate blocks often weighing several tons each. The heavily fortified Mycenaean palaces contrast sharply with the open Cretan palaces, figure 2-3, and clearly reveal their defensive character. Lion Gate, Mycenae. The entrance to the citadel at Mycenaean was a lion gate, this figure down here, 210, protected on the left by a wall built on a natural rock outcropping, and on the right by projecting a bastion of large blocks. The thing looks awesome. Any approaching enemies would have had to enter this 20-foot wide channel and face Mycenaean defenders above them on both sides. The gate itself consists of two great monoliths capped with a huge lintel. Above the lintel, the masonry courses from a corbelled arch constructed by placing the blocks in horizontal courses and then cantilevering them inward until they meet, leaving an opening that lightens the weight carried by the lintels. Let me just look at what's happening here. Okay. The Mycenaean builders filled this relieving triangle with a great limestone slab where two lions carved in high relief stands on the side of the Minoan type column. I think I see it. Two lions? Are those things, is it like above that entryway that they're talking about? Alright. The whole design admirably fills its triangular space, harmonizing in dignity, strength, and scale with the massive stones that form the walls and gate. Similar groups appear in miniature on Cretan seals, but the idea of placing monstrous guardian figures at the entrances and palaces, tombs, and sacred spaces has its origin in the Near East. At Mycenaean, the animals' heads were fashioned separately and are lost. Some scholars have suggested that the lions were composite beasts in the Near East tradition, possibly sphinxes. Okay, is this more of the same picture? I think? No, this is a different one. Okay. Funny how I had this for an online test this morning for my ancient history class. Were you really doing the Mycenaean stuff today? It's crazy. So, treasury of Atreus. Let's make sure I'm saying this right.
Atreus, also American Atrus.
Atrus. Okay, Atrus.
Atreus, also
Atreus. Okay, treasury of Atreus. The Mycenaeans erected the Lion Gate and the towering fortification wall circuit of which it formed a part of few generations before the presumed date of the Trojan War. At the time, wealthy Mycenaeans were laid to rest outside the citadel walls in tombs covered by enormous earthen mounds. The best preserved of these are the so-called treasury of Atreus, which the later Greeks already mistakenly believed was the repository of the treasure of Atreus, father of King Agamemnon, who waged war against Troy. Approached by a long passageway, a doorway surmounted by a relieving triangle, similar to the one employed in the roughly contemporaneous Lion Gate, led to the beehive-shaped tomb chamber, Tholos, composed of a series of stone corbelled courses laid on a circular base. The Tholos, figure 212, okay, so this figure to the right, inside of this thing, you can see has a lofty dome-shaped vault. The builders probably constructed the vault using rough hewn blocks. After they set the stone in place, the masons had to finish the surfaces with great precision to make them conform to both the horizontal and vertical curves of the wall. The principle involved is no different from the corbelled arch, but the process of constructing a complete dome is much more complicated. About 43 feet high, the Tholos of the treasury of Atreus was the largest vaulted space without interior supports ever built before the Romans. Wow, cool. Okay, so gold masks. The treasury of Atreus had been roughly looted long before its modern rediscovery, but excavators have made spectacular finds at graves elsewhere at Mycenaean. Just inside the Lion Gate, but predating it by some 3 centuries, is the burial area archaeologists refer to as Grave Circle A. Here, at a site protected within the circuit of the later walls, 6 deep shafts served as tombs for kings and their families. The excavation of the royal shaft graves yielded many gold artifacts, including a beaten repousse, gold funerary masks. This one down below, that's actually really cool. I want one. Homer described the Mycenaeans as rich in gold. No wonder I love it. Alchemy. Art historians often compare the Mycenaean mask to King Tut's gold mummy mask. The treatment of the human face is, of course, more primitive in the Mycenaean mask, but this was one of the first known attempts in Greece to render the human face at life size, whereas the Egyptian mask belonged to a long line of monumental sculptures dating back more than a millennium. Whether the Mycenaean masks were intended as portraits is unknown, but the goldsmiths recorded different physical types with care. The illustrated mask, with its full beard, must depict a mature man, perhaps a king, although not Agamemnon, as its 19th century discoverer wished. If Agamemnon was a real king, he lived some 300 years after the manufacture of this mask. Let me see just how to say that.
Agamemnon.
Agamemnon. Sorry, I've been saying it wrong. Agamemnon. So yeah. Although not Agamemnon, as in the 19th century discoverer wished. If Agamemnon was a real king, he lived some 300 years after the manufacture of this mask. End of Mycenaea. Despite their mighty walls, the citadels of Mycenae and Theran were burned between 1250 and 1200 BCE, when the Mycenaeans seem to have been overrun by northern invaders or have fallen victim to internal warfare. By Homer's time, the heyday of Aegean civilization was but a distant memory, and the men and women of Crete and Mycenae had assumed the stature of heroes from a lost golden age. Excuse me, I'm terrible at this. Let me say this again. Despite their mighty walls, the citadels of Mycenae and Theran were burned between 1250 and 1200 BCE, when the Mycenaeans seem to have overrun by northern invaders or have fallen victim to internal warfare. By Homer's time, the heyday of Aegean civilization was but a distant memory, and the men and women of Crete and Mycenae had assumed the stature of heroes from a lost golden age. So I have Seth Didymus in here. He said Mycenaean Greece was heavily influenced on all by contact with the Egyptians. Most of the gold mines and Bronze Age that the stuff is made out of were located in Egypt. Yeah, that they said that they had huge Egyptian influences. So yeah, it definitely makes sense. Anyway, so we're at an hour and 30 minutes in, and I've completed the prehistoric Aegean art section, and I hate kind of moving on to another section and then stopping halfway, because the Greek art is really going to be a lot more stuff that we're not going to finish in a half an hour. So I feel like maybe I should just stop there with this. And we can continue on next time. Fresh and clean. Hi, Comet, come here. Ow. Comet, come here. Oh, I love Comet. Yeah. Will this be on the test? Come here. Just come. So, yeah. So I'll take any questions and concerns. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe and all that stuff. Come here. Come here, Comet. Come here. Markota College. Well, yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do, is just do a bunch of educational stuff, because I don't think that we do enough of that. We bitch and complain about educational institutions, but we can certainly control our own education, and all we seem to do is bitch about the left instead of promote education and art and stuff. So Boomer University, get rocking and rolling. That's right. Oh, I love you, Comet. Oh, I love this kitty. I found him in DC when he was a kitten. That's why I named him Comet, after Comet Ping Pong. So, yeah. Let me know if you guys want to talk over anything else. I can always look up something online that relates to this, so I'd want to stay on that topic for this video. So if anyone has any recommendations, we have a lot of interesting, smart people in here, for me to look something up, I would love to do that if it revolves around the Aegean art. Thank God I wasn't calling the whole time in the video Aegean art or something. Aegean art. Aegean. Those damn cheese pizza fuckers. Okay, check a real Birmingham family statues. Okay. Oh my God, you're so cute. Let's check it out. Just trying to share my screen. Give me a second. Ooh, kitty. Don't do that. Okay. Ordinary Birmingham family to be immortalized. No, I don't think. Yeah. Public artwork, sculpted by Gillian Waring, cast in bronze, and erected in Centenary Square outside the Library of Birmingham, England in 2014. Okay, so this isn't Aegean, but this is some sculpture of family. Oh, my kitty is so cute. I mean, this is modern day sculptures that we're dealing with. When am I going to go over magazine layouts again? I mean, that was something I did a few months ago, and I just reran the episode. But I suppose I could always work on the magazine live on air with you guys sometime, maybe on a Monday or Tuesday. Some art stream thing. So, as a contrast, as for the depiction of societal ideals. Oh, okay, thanks for that. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, and that's the thing. This is the modern day art. Like this is what we're researching in the art history, but like thousands and thousands of years ago, and this is what we're dealing with today. This is how we depict life and humans and art today. Society, the petri dish of society. Oh my God, cat! No, just sit. Have I ever looked into Native American art? Well, I mean, I'm from New York, and I grew up with a lot of there's like names, this Tuckahoe, and I don't know, all sorts of Native American stuff in New York. So I'm kind of familiar with it. I don't know too much about it, really, but I do remember even since elementary school, I mean, our mascot in elementary school in New York was a Native American head, but I looked it up. Obviously, they don't do that anymore. It's considered racist, but I remember learning about it in kindergarten and stuff. I remember making a Native American mask, and doing a rain dance. I have video of that. Okay, Critter. I'm sorry. I have to delete that comment because he stole that from me. I used to talk to PJW back in 2013, 14, and he promised to interview me, and he was like, I can't just interview you because you're hot, I need a topic. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm a professional artist in New York City. I want to talk about how modern art sucks because I'm so frustrated by the art scene, and I want to talk about how conservative is the new counterculture. And he just took my shit and ran off with it, took all my sources and stole my shit. So I'm sorry, that is really stresses me out because he's a thief. Anyway, so anything else, guys? Anything else? Oh, I don't hold it against you, Critter. No, people say it to me all the time, and it just irritates me because it's yeah, I know. He stole it from me. What does he know about art? He got it from me. Yeah, no, I figured, Critter. No, I know. No one knows this shit, but it's just irritating when it comes up to me. Oh my God, I got cat hair on my face now. Now I can just feel hair all over my face. It's irritating. Cat hair all over my face. Few philosophical questions, but they're probably for another stream. Yeah, I don't know. We're just talking about art history right now, so if we can try to keep it to that on this stream, we can do alchemy tomorrow, Dan. That's alchemy stream tomorrow. Let me look up. This is that vase that we saw with the octopus. That reminds me of the communism propaganda with the octopus on the globe. Oh, this looks like the typical Aegean art. There's that lady. There's the golden mask. There's more of that. Yeah, see, they have these flat faces, and they painted. Remember what they said is they painted the eyes and stuff and the mouth on them. We can't see him anymore. I like this guy playing that instrument. He's cool. I also like these guys. Oh no, you can't see. Oh, I hate this. I have to do Bing. There's something about that. I kind of like it. I kind of like the simplicity of that. Yeah, the octopus. That's cool. Love the gold mask. The octopus jug. Is this like an original? How many times do they do this lady with her like holding herself like that? That's cool. There's that lady. I think, is that the same lady? And the triangle in the pubis region. Snake lady with her tits out and a tiny, tiny little waist. And the cat on her head. The puma, whatever. I love the way they do these little waists. It's my favorite thing. There's this guy. Yeah, we pretty much went through it. A fat boob snake lady. That jug is lovely. That picture. Ooh, that looks like gold. Love it. This is getting really close to... Oh my god, that actually looks comical. It almost looks like a Simpsons character. But this is getting really close to that Greek... The classical Greek vases. And we're headed there. Oh, what does this say? The octopus flask. Circa 1500 to 1450 BCE. Ceramic. 11 inches. Marine style depiction of sea life on surface. Celebrates the sea. Floating creatures, grace and energy of natural form, stylized design and harmony with vessel's spherical shape. That's true. Hunter capturing a bull, drinking cup from near Sparta, 1600 to 1500 BCE. It's gold. I knew it. It's in the National Archaeology Museum in Athens. I would love to see that. That gold cup. I want a gold cup. I want a gold cup. Is that a pimp cup? Ooh, this fresco. Yeah, the Venus of Willendorf we went over last time for some of the prehistoric art. It's not Aegean, but it's part of the other prehistory art that we were going over. And yeah, that was the Venus of Willendorf is the like first depiction like that we have of this like fertility goddess and stuff, and thereafter there's like other versions of these statuettes that represent female and fertility. A Kang cup. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's this guy doing acrobatics over a bull. What is this? What is this? Calligraphite. They like bulls. Yeah, look at, there's more. See, they're always depicting them like that with their hands covering their belly like that. There they are. More figurines with the hands and the belly. So weird. It looks like a fraternity paddle. It did. That's lovely. I like that it's black. Cool. Okay, and she's not the only one. This one made with the Fincy technique. Remember how they use that in Egyptian too. And that's from Egypt. Wow, so there's more than one of these guys. That's cool. More of the statuettes, figurines. This is another snake lady reference with her boobs out. Cool. This is that like citadel or whatever that we were looking at that had the like. Are these supposed to be the lions? I think these are the lion. This is the lion gate. Yeah, this is the lion gate. Yeah, we pretty much went over it. Okay, these are the columns. Remember, the columns are different because they go from really big on the top and taper off at the bottom with these bulbous things at the top. The pillars are made out of wood and often painted red. And that's different pillars from the later Greek era where they go like small at the top and they get a little larger at the bottom. And we'll talk about those columns and the golden ratio to that and the illusion of grandeur that it creates as it tapers off up top. Oh, what is this? Male lyre player. Oh, I knew it was some sort of harp. Yeah, it's a lyre. Wow, they had a lyre back then. 2700 BCE. It's made out of marble. Ooh, marble. I love it. The island of Naxos, Paros, and Keros were renowned for their figurines, or statuettes. Their sizes range from a few inches to almost life-size. Wow. In style, they are strikingly abstract, utilizing geometric shapes and flat planes to render the human body in a schematicized manner. Although austere today, figurines were originally painted in bright colors, probably in order to give the figurines individual identities. Yeah, that's that like tomb that is circular inside. Hey, Super Duper Man, nice to see you. Man, you were played as a feature role in the past 2 days, Super Duper Man, because I played a few reruns. By the way, I'm back in New York, and I'm upstate right now in the Albany area, and everyone's coronavirused out, so hit me up. Be nice to see you. But yeah, the past few days you were featured in my videos because I was playing reruns from a few months ago, and you were giving me super chats and asking me all sorts of questions and reminding me about smoking and shit. Ow. Shit. So it was really funny, and everyone was talking about you. And I explained to everyone the story again in the rerun about who you were and how we know each other. It's funny. Alright. Alright. Let me know if you guys want anything else. I'll stay on for a few minutes and answer any questions, and then I'm going to get out of here because no one's doing anything and no one's having me any super chats or anything. I don't do this for free. I would, though. Actually. No. Head with the remains of painted decoration, marble and red pigment. Alright, yeah, I think we saw all of their art that they have. That's it. Ooh. Yep, the marine style. Yep. Snake goddess representation as a ceremonial leader in Minoan religion may indicate that Minoan culture was matriarchal. The goddess was created using the, I don't know how to say that, F-A-I-E-N-C technique. Faience technique, in which beach sand is low fired to create an opaque glass-like silicate. Oh, okay. Additionally, she may be a fertility figure, as the emphasis on her bare chest indicates. It isn't clear whether she represents a priestess or goddess, as figures easily identifiable as gods or goddesses are not found in Minoan cities. The snakes she grasped are associated with both female and earthly fertility, not evil. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So that's kind of also the point of female nudity in art. A lot of the times is like how we had that Greek sculpture of the discus thrower, and it's showing a perfection of man. It's similar with women, and particularly nudity in art with women represents femininity and fertility and stuff like that. So, you know, I could agree with that. I think that, you know, Drew, aka Mr. E, thanks so much. He gave $2 and said, "Here is a super chat. Have a better day." Thank you. But yeah, I would definitely agree with that concept of nudity in a non-sexual way. Is just like, yeah, it represents the female form. It's as feminine as it gets. It's fertility. It's these, you know, I love it. It's great. There's nothing wrong with feminine or masculine. It's two sides that we need, the duality. Oh, thanks, Michael. I'm glad you liked it. Love to do little lessons every day. Super Duper Man says, haha, I've been at the farm getting ready for the contrived apocalypse. Cool. Matriarchal is a bit misleading when describing Indo-European societies. Women carried divine statues and selected the fittest man as their king, and he would then act as executor. Yeah, I think that this thing, I mean, this is why I like my source, the book. It's like a proper like art history, like from an art historian textbook. I don't know what these things are, so I wouldn't put too much into these stupid little memes that I'm finding on the internet, but they did state that it was one interpretation, and I agree. I wouldn't think I don't necessarily agree it's that interpretation. I think it's quite possibly more of a fertility type thing, something about, you know, women or whatever. So all right, guys. Gonna get out of here. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow. Dan, if you come around, we're doing an alchemy stream tomorrow, so don't really know what we're gonna talk about. Oh, I think that we're doing more distillation for outer alchemy. So alright, thanks, Jay. Thanks, guys. Bye bye. See you around.